Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to show you more options for some homemade MREs, and we're going to pack a few up right here on camera when we come back. Now what you see out here in front of you is all the different stuff that I have set up for my homemade MREs. I'm going to give you some options and some ideas today, as well as pack a few of these up. But before we begin, I want to make you aware of two huge sales going on right now. And I think now is definitely, given what's going on in the world, given the elections coming up and all that, a good time to get stocked up on food. First off, we have our Thrive Life Social Seller Kit. If you've ever been interested in becoming a Thrive Life consultant, now is the time to do it. You can get in with the Social Seller Kit, which is the ground floor kit, for $79. Normally that's $258. So you're going to be a consultant for $79. Even if you're just buying the food for yourself, the perks and what you'll save on it is well worth that. You get a kit, you'll get the one month of the website package, which is the website you'll sell your food off of, and you'll be required to do a monthly order of a minimum of $50. What you get with the kit is the to-go chicken salads, you'll get the snackies, the pouches of the Fuji red apples and red seedless grape, pineapple. You'll get a pantry can of the red bell peppers, green beans, sweet corn, celery, blueberries, and mango. And it's a really good time to get in on that. So if you're interested in getting started, that is a good way to get in for $79. Also, too, is My Patriot Supply Link, which is it's located at preparewithiridium.com. Two sales going on that one. You have your 2 and 4 week food supply. You'll save $100 today. It's free shipping, which is normally $79. The limit on these is 3 to household. Normally, they are $297. Today, you can get them for $197. That is a 4-week food supply. Not really bad at all. That's a good deal. If that's a little bit too much and you want to go a little bit smaller, you can do the 2-week food supply. And that comes with breakfast, lunches, and dinners, 92 servings, 8 different varieties, up to a 25-year shelf life on both of these. Normally, that is $157. Today, you're going to get the 2-week food supply for $97. So I just wanted to make you aware of those before we get started, because I know everybody's scrambling to try and get some food put together, and I have some really good sales going on right now, so check them out. All right, let's get into all this food down here. So, first question you ask is, why even bother with prepackaged meals or meals ready to eat? Well, first of all, they're convenient to have on hand when disaster strikes. They're great for when you got to get out of Dodge really quick. They're great for keeping in your vehicle. They're even cool for camping. If you like something specific and you want to pack it when you camp, they're awesome for that. MREs are easy to move. Most preppers have canned food, which is bulky and heavy, so it's not easy to grab on your way out of the door. Some require special preparation, and of course you're going to need a can opener. So if you're traveling on foot, that's going to limit how many cans of food you can take with you, whereas these are light and don't take up a lot of space, and these can be packed big or small, however you feel. If you don't eat a lot, let's say this is my meal, if I'm only going to eat one of these, that's my meal. I can take one of these and that's it. I don't have to mess around with all that. And we'll get into all these different types of food and what I'm going to do. Also, purchased MREs can be quite expensive, especially if you have to pay for shipping. I mean, I've seen them for $80, $90, $120 for 12 meals. You can pack up 12 meals of this kind way, way cheaper. They're also very high in fat content. They were originally designed to, meet the needs of the military when they're doing heavy physical activity. You may not be doing that same heavy physical activity. You may be sitting riding out a storm at a friend's house, sitting on your butt listening to the radio. So you may not be doing that same kind of activity. And with all that fat content and low water content, they can stuff people up. You can get very constipated with it. Now, sodium content in MREs can be as high as 3,800 milligrams. That's 3 times what the average normal person should consume. Make you pretty thirsty too. Now don't get me wrong, some of this stuff is very high in sodium as well, but it's definitely going to be lower than an MRE. They're also high in fat. They can cause a lot of gastrointestinal distress. If you're not used to eating them, now I eat them on occasion when I do reviews here, and I have no problem with them. Then again, I have a cast iron stomach. I can pretty much swallow anything and be fine. Some people maybe, not maybe a little more sensitive to it. Next is the most important, taste. You may not like them. I kind of like them. You may want to find some different options, maybe some healthier options, and you can do that all on your own. You can pack up tuna with a little basmati rice or whatever and have yourself a much healthier option than, say, some kind of MRE that's loaded with sodium and something you probably don't want to eat. So you definitely have a much better selection when you home pack or home make your own MREs. Now, given what we're seeing in the world with the unrest we're seeing in cities, whatever, you may need to get out of an area quickly. You may be on a trip somewhere and need to vacate your hotel because there's trouble in the streets, you know. You may need to leave because of a forest fire. And all this does is give you a quick way to make sure your food is packed. These are excellent for bug out bags. You know, especially kids. Kids aren't going to want to eat an MRE that they don't know what it is and maybe they won't like it. But if you can toss a couple Spams and some, you know, rice in there or cheese or macaroni and cheese or whatever, you know what? You got yourself a meal your kids will probably eat. So that's why. You also don't have to worry about packing inedible stuff like matches, heaters, any stuff like that. Pretty much the only thing inedible I'm packing in these is a small silverware container and possibly some condiments. And we'll go through this stuff in a second. So let me explain to you what I got out here. I got 3 MREs that I'm going to be packing out here. And we'll get into what they are and what we're going to do with them. Alright, so we can go as heavy or as light as we want. Some of these are going to be a little bit heavier, some of these are going to be a little bit lighter. You can do this any way you want. And there's lots of this type of stuff. You're starting to see this stuff in these tin, little foil packs. You got stuff like this. Beans. Sweet and smoky beans in a foil package. Now again, these aren't going to last 20, 30 years. They'll maybe last 1 or 2 before you want to eat them up and rotate them. The good part is it's food you probably have already picked out and you already like, and you will eat it to rotate it out. So it's not a problem. As far as sides go, you'll notice over here, let's start with this. I save lots of stuff that comes from the fast food restaurants, you know, when I've eaten there. And this is some of it, hot sauce from Taco Bell, the butter from KFC, some sriracha sauce from a Chinese restaurant locally here, ketchups from all over. So anytime you are in a place that has a portable kind of thing like that, you save them, and you can toss that in with foods that you like. Next up, coffee. I've got coffee, and I've got some Propel, and some Gatorade, some Crystal Light. These are fun to add to your beverages, as beverages for your meals. Easy to toss in there. Maybe you toss 1 coffee in with that, or 2 coffees, depending on how much you drink. Maybe you want to have a little bit of hydration, so you toss in a Propel or a Gatorade for electrolytes. Again, with the coffee, if you're going to pack it, there are these little portable creamers. I should pull that out. You can't see that. You can put in your sweet and low, your salt, sugar, whatever you like. You got your little portable creamers. And these will pack up nicely. I do have some of these packed up in these. They will pack up okay, even how I'm going to do them. And, of course, good old sugar, if you like that in your coffee. That's really a side note. We're not going to be using any of this stuff today because I drink my coffee black, so it really doesn't matter. Now, the end result is going to look something like this. Okay? Now, I do have a drink box in here, a juice box. That isn't necessary. I just bought them to kind of proof of concept type thing. Got a ramen noodles in here, some fruit punch, premium chicken, a couple packs of it. So I got myself a decent little lunch there if I want. You notice I wrote 780 calories on here. You don't have to do that. You can put the packing date on them. That will kind of help you keep them rotated. So let's start off with the first meal that I'm going to do. Also, too, if you want to add water, these are really cool to put in there. I'm going to put these in too just to see how they hold up. That meal and that meal. So, and if you don't have these, if you don't have silverware already packed from, say, a fast food place, it's easy enough to just grab some plastic silverware from your local store and a napkin. What I do is I just toss them in like this together. And those of you that have ever worked at a Denny's know about rolling up silverware. And there you go. So you can put that in your meal as well, and you have your silverware ready to go. And it weighs practically nothing. It's super lightweight. So the first meal we're going to pack up is this one back here, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, I use a vacuum sealer, as you can tell by this one. You don't need to. If you're looking to do this a little more economically, you can put them in a little Ziploc bag like that. I tend to go with the slider bags. Somebody had mentioned this before. I feel these seal a whole lot better. So I slide them up like that. But you don't need to use a vacuum sealer. But if you do have one already and some extra bags, heck, why not? So let's get our first meal packed up. I'll move these out of the way, and we'll start with that. All right, so for this one, and I want to show you these two, these Starkist chicken creations. These are barbecue. For this one, we're going to do the barbecue chicken, some baked beans, a little bit of water, snack of crackers, and a little bit of cheese and links, and of course our silverware and the water. Again, too, if you see these in Walmart, these are just as good as those. They're a little bit cheaper, no big deal. I just happen to put these out. I'm going to take one of these vacuum sealer bags here, And generally, you'll pack this up any way you feel comfortable. None of this stuff's going to explode in there. This is a pretty big bag, so we'll be cutting it down some. But generally, we're going to pack this up and just see how it goes from there. So I'll show you what I do. I take the biggest item and I put it in first. Now I can put it in sideways like that. Gives you a little more room in the bag. These guys too. Put them in here on top. And down the side, maybe I want to put my silverware or snack crackers or whatever. Remember too that this is going to pack down, so it might crush things like that. So maybe you want to put something over it so it won't do that. And what I'm going to do here, actually that makes it a lot longer, so let's do it this way. I'm going to put my snack in front there, like that, and my silverware down there. So it kind of gives it a little bit of protection against getting smushed down and crushed. And of course, I'll put my water in here on the back. And I want to make it facing out, like that. So on the back, I can see exactly what I got in here. That's another nice thing about these clear packages, is you can see what you have as far as food goes. So I'm going to fire this thing up and seal it up, and I'll let you see what it looks like when we're done. Now, as you can see, I have trimmed off the top there, and we'll just seal up the other ones. I'm not going to go too into detail with them with this, but I want to show you this. You want to leave enough here so this area can go into that suction area inside your sealer. You don't want to cut it like down to here where you won't be able to seal it up. So you want to leave it enough so that you can still kind of get that in there and get the air suctioned out of it. So I cut off about that much. Again, the more you pack in there, the bigger your bag's going to be. And don't forget too that if this is really, really long and you really don't like it, you can always cut more off the end. So let's seal this up and give it a shot. We're going to let it get suctioned out. As you can see, it's getting suctioned up there. Now I seal them twice, alright? I'll let this seal it because this is the vacuum and seal. And then I'll move it a tiny little bit out and hit the seal again just to seal it one more time, give it a second seal on the top. I think you can probably see that on the seal here. You see how I did that seal? You have one here that the machine did the first time and then my own second one there. So what I'm going to do here is pop that. Okay. Move it a tiny little bit back. Push it down again and seal. The red light will go until it's sealed. And that'll heat up and seal it nice. So you have a little bit of extra protection. And there I go. I've got a meal packed and ready for me. If I have to evacuate in an emergency or whatever, I've got food ready to go. If I want to stick it in my car and have an extra meal, see, there's your double seal. Not the neatest thing that time, but hey, it works. So I'm going to cut off the extra on this. And that is ready to go. All sealed up. One meal ready to go. And it's stuff you like already. So you know that if you have to eat it, if it's been a year and it's been sitting in the back of your closet, maybe you want to look at it and rotate it out, you know you'll eat it and enjoy it. Alright, I'm going to seal up the other two and then I'm going to give you some more options and show you what else is out there as far as stuff for MREs. Alright, got them all sealed up. As you can tell, I do that quick little double seal there. So that way you got the original seal that the machine did, and then I pull it back a tiny little bit and do a second one. So that's nice and sealed up, and nothing is bursting. You know, it's not putting this under incredible amounts of pressure. It's just sealing it up airtight. So as you can tell, it works pretty well. And they are much smaller than regular conventional MREs, depending on how you want to make them. If you want to make these huge, if you want to make this one whole 24-hour ration, you can do that. And way, way cheaper than what 24-hour rations sell for. So now let's get into some of the ideas that I have for stuff that you may not know out there that comes in little foil packages for MREs. And the first off, of course, you saw the chicken. Like I said, this great value stuff, I think it's $1.24 or $1.40 or $1, I don't know. It's fairly inexpensive. So you got that there. Here's something interesting that I found at the dollar store. Velveeta cheese sauce. If you got something that maybe you want a little extra cheese on, you can do that. Now, this does have a ton of sodium in it. Okay, 900 milligrams. So you may want to use this very sparingly. And you may want to pack this in, say, a 24-hour ration, where maybe you're going to use a little in the daytime and a little at night, and who knows. These guys here, awesome. These little Taster Choice Nescafe House Blends. These things are amazing for coffee. I usually throw about 2 of them in there. And here's something interesting. If you make a mistake with one of these and you go, oh, darn, I didn't put something in I wanted. I cut this one open again. And I had to put in the Taster's Choice coffee because I forgot it. I cut it open and I just resealed it. Made a nice line across the top and resealed it. So you can always open these and reseal them. Heck, you could even open them and leave a little extra and taste test them. And say, ooh, okay, is this good? Is this still good or not? Like I mentioned before, your electrolyte powders, awesome. These little guys here make great snacks. These little beef jerky, any kind of beef jerky is a good little snack in there. Here's something that I mentioned in another video. I don't know if you guys know about it. This chata. It is basically shredded pork, and there is a lot in here. This could be a lunch and dinner type thing if you don't get tired of it eating it twice. They say there's 4.5 servings in here, so you could even do this with a big bag of rice, you know, some kind of, like this here, red beans and rice, and you could have yourself one heck of a good meal between two people. And that right there could be your MRE. So, another thing, mashed potatoes. Very, very good. Some people like to stick mashed potatoes in ramen soups and mix them up. I don't know. I have to try it maybe. Maybe it's really good and I just don't know about it. But these are really cheap and easy to stock up on, as you can tell. Another thing too, barilla, ready pasta. This stuff here, you can boil it. It's ready in 60 seconds. Again, it does require some boiling. Most of what I packed up here requires no heat at all. If you had to eat this stuff out of the bag, you could. Except for the old one that has the soup in it, which you'd have to boil. But again, this stuff is pretty decent. You boil it for 60 seconds, and it's ready to go. Last one here is your chili and chicken with beans. If you can find these backcountry meals, this is basically like an MRE pack, already made for you. But it's not an MRE. You know, it's not in the gray packaging or the brown packaging or however you get yours. And you can toss that in there and have yourself a meal right there alone. That thing right there is your meal, you know. Really handy, really small, easy to do stuff. Now, a big thing that comes up is breakfast. Let's talk about breakfast for a minute. You can throw in some oatmeal and some coffee and consider it good to go. However, if you do have freeze-dried stuff, that's where your options open up a little. Because you can take a packet, a smaller bag, and you can take your Thrive Life stuff, your freeze-dried foods, and this works with any. I don't want to tell you guys that you only have to use my stuff. This works with any freeze-dried food. And you can take a little bit of the egg powder, the egg mix, a little bit of this here, this is sausage crumbles, and a little bit of cheese, and throw in the ingredients for an omelet in 3 different little tiny sealed packages. What I do with these sometimes is I'll cut them down to a smaller size, and I'll take, you know, maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of this, toss it in there, seal it up. 2 or 3 tablespoons of this, toss it in there, seal it up. Same with the cheese. So, by doing that, I vacuum sealed 3 individual portions for myself for breakfast. Now, if I wanted to add hash browns, not going with Thrive stuff, just showing you what's on the shelf, you can buy these. These just need to be hydrated. Again, it's a little more intensive, it's a little more cooking, it's a little more hydrating, but it is an option, and it sure beats just having a boring oatmeal every morning. So you can mix it up a little bit, and you can get yourself some really good options out there. So these are just some of the options that come now in things for homemade MREs. Many ways to do it. I just wanted to kind of update. I know I had a lot of subscribers join my channel since I did my homemade MRE video a while back, and I did a follow-up to it. So I'm going to put these away now. I'm going to date them, and we're going to take some of the older ones. That's not an older one. I have an older one. We're going to take an older one next and try it out and see if it's any good. Say in about 6 months or so, because that'll be about a year since I've done it. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Like I told you in the intro, we do have some deals going on. I will put all those links down below. I'll put the link for the Thrive Life Consultant joining membership down there, if I can get it out, if I can talk. And I will put my preparewithiridiumlink.com, preparewithiridium.com down there for the Food for Patriots link. You can get in on that deal too with those 2 different special deals they're offering and some stored food good for 25 years. And I will also have my Thrive Life link down there below if you don't want to join and you just want to buy some freeze-dried food. And don't forget to check out our Amazon store as well. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.